Confessions of a Coward by Taylor Dash. So, today was another day, boring, dull, and full of nothing. It's like there is nothing to do around here anymore except practice my moves and read the Dare and Do series. Well, I guess I could always go see Applejack. After all, she is my best friend, and I love her company more than anything. I've been getting quite nervous lately though. My feelings for Applejack have turned into more than a best friend. As time goes on, she gets sweeter and kinder, bigger and stronger, and more beautiful. I want to tell her these feelings, but I'm just so afraid of what might come of it. Here in Ponyville and Cloudsdale, every pony goes by the old-time rules. When it comes to situations like this, there have been other brave mares who stood up and told the world who they are, but quickly were cast out. I'm just so afraid. If I admit to these feelings, the same thing will happen to me. I guess only time will tell. The timer she set was now buzzing. Oh man, stupid journal. I'm late for my daily routine. Ugh! Rainbow Dash grunted in annoyance. Closing her journal, she quickly slammed it shut and shoved it under her mattress. But in such a hurry, the journal stuck out at the end, just noticeable enough. Quickly bursting through the door, Rainbow Dash took flight into the skies to begin her daily routine of flips, drops and wing control. Taking a break from her usual work, Applejack twisted her neck and popped it, relieving a build-up of tension. She'd been working all day and finally decided to call it quits. Putting away some farming equipment, she stopped and realised something. I ain't seen RD in a while. I wonder what she's up to, she whispered to herself. Finally putting away the rest of her tools, Applejack went inside for a quick eat and wash, preparing herself for some apple fritters. She poured herself some of her special cider, grabbing the warm fritter from the stove, and she set it on her plate and began to eat. As she ate, her mind was racing with the most peculiar thought. Rainbow Dash. Finishing her apple fritter, she tossed the plate and cup into the sink and headed upstairs for a shower. Opening the bathroom door, she took her hairbands out and let the blonde hair run free and sway. Her hair looked beautiful when it wasn't put up. It seemed to shine more and really reveal her looks. Turning the shower nozzle, she stepped in and let the warm water drip down her sore muscles and dirty hooves. All she could think about was Rainbow, her mind wandering off into its own reality. As she stood there in the shower, she pictured a place, a meadow, pure green grass and hills and trees, a large cherry blossom tree. She approached the tree to notice a pony was lying under it. As she came closer, the pony she'd seen was Rainbow Dash, all snuggled up and napping. Standing there, she gave a big smile as she watched her colourful friend rest. Slowly walking up to her side, she huddled up next to Rainbow and watched her as she dozed into a peaceful nap. Ugh, what in tarnation is that awful smell? Applejack said, dazed from being woken up. Blinking her eyes came to focus, she noticed Rainbow Dash in front of her. Ah! Applejack screamed, backing away from the other pony. Lying in front of her was what appeared to be Rainbow Dash. She was strung out under the tree, with several flies buzzing around her. Her fur was grey and scratched. Her smell was wretched, with alcohol and dirt. Her eyes were glassy and lifeless. She looked almost dead from what Applejack could see, but she was breathing, but just barely. Applejack walked up to her and gave her a nudge. Her coat felt crunchy and hard. It was stained with blood spots and spilled booze. As she examined the appearance of her best friend, she noticed that Rainbow had been making eye contact with her, just staring at her lifelessly. Words were trying to pass through her lips. You monster, Rainbow said weakly. The world she was dreaming in was now turning. The hills, the grass and the cherry blossom were all changing. The grass was beginning to turn brown. The sky above her was turning grey. The hills began to get taller and steeper, but above all the tree that had held two ponies together was now withering away. The branches became thinner and darker, and the petals turned to brown as they fell off with the passing wind. Applejack was standing farther and farther away, as if the world was backing up. She began to run for the tree as fast as she could, but no matter how fast she was running, the world kept stretching, and Rainbow remained lying under the tree in the distance as her body became covered in a blanket of petals that had fallen from the tree. "Rainbow!" Applejack yelled. "Rainbow! Rainbow! No!" The world vanished and turned to black. Ugh! Applejack woke from her dream. 1 year it's been. 1 year it's been since that incident with Rainbow Dash, and that moment that caused Applejack to hate herself forever. Putting her hooves on her face, tears began to run down her face. I did this to her. I caused my best friend, my best friend to hide away, to become a hated pony by everyone. How could I be so evil, so dishonest, to someone I love? Her words tore what heart she had left. Applejack loved Rainbow Dash. She loved her more than a best friend. Knowing if she were to confess to these feelings, she knew she would have ended up like Rainbow Dash, cast out and hated by every pony. But being the coward she was, she let someone she held dear to be taken down alone, eaten away at her every day, knowing that that pony was cold, alone and ripped apart. She couldn't take it anymore. She had to confess her feelings. She had to face what she had created. Getting up from her bed, she quickly ran out of the house and began making her way to Ponyville Library. Knocking on the door to the library, there was no answer. "Twilight, open up quick!" Coming down the stairs was a half-asleep pony. Opening the door, Twilight looked confused and annoyed. "What is it, Applejack? Something wrong?" she asked. "Twilight, I know it's late and you're tired, but I need you to cast a spell for me. I need this, Twi, please. I'll answer your questions later, but it needs to be now." Okay. What spell you need? What's the spell you need?" "I need you to give me the ability to walk on clouds, and I need you to teleport me to the centre of Cloudsdale," Applejack asked nervously. "What for? Applejack put her hoof to her mouth. "I said questions later. Right now, I need you to do this for me, please." "All right, but let's make this quick. Step over here," Twilight instructed. Raising her horn, it glowed with a purple aura. Leaning down, her touched the top of Applejack's head. "Whoa," Applejack said to herself. The teleport made her dizzy, but she quickly focused back. She didn't know where Rainbow Dash was living. All she knew that her mansion was taken from her. Quickly, she searched around for the town's help centre. Running along the clouds, a few ponies that were out that night looked at her with awe. They didn't know how she was able to walk, let alone run on clouds. Finding the help centre, she barged in, running for the desk. "Please, I need you to tell me where Miss Rainbow Dash is living," she asked. Yes, give me 1 moment to look up her file," the pony said. The pony at the desk began shuffling through folders until she found Rainbow's. "Ah, here it is. She lives at 534 Silent Way." "Thank you," Applejack said as she grabbed the map of the area. Scanning the map, she located Rainbow's whereabouts. Leaving the building, she ran for Rainbow. She felt happy. Her smile came back as she thought of her. Thought of how she would finally see the pony she loved again. She arrived at what appeared to be some place to live. It was run down and messy, almost like a ghetto, but there it was, Rainbow's home. She approached the door and knocked, but the door slightly opened. Slowly pushing it, she opened the door, and she couldn't see anything. It was so dark, but she could smell the stench of old food and vodka. Applejack's mind started to run with thoughts of what she might look like, how she will react. She never thought of those things while making her way here. A small bit of light made its way underneath one of the doors in front of her. It was a candle light. The way it flickered. Turning the knob, it wouldn't budge. "Rainbow? Are you in there?" Applejack asked nervously. No answer came back. "Rainbow, I know it's been a while, but I need to talk to you. I need you." Applejack quickly became impatient and started to turn the knob harder. She was strong enough to break the lock if she turned it hard enough, and the lock broke, and the door cracked open. Slowly pushing it, Applejack leaned in. Applejack looked around the room, and in the corner she saw her best friend. "No!" Applejack rushed over to her and untied the knot that was holding Rainbow off the ground. "No, no, no! Rainbow, come on now! Open your eyes! Please, Rainbow, open your eyes!" she pleaded while cradling Rainbow against her. Her face was pale and discoloured from the rest of her body. Applejack knew, but did not want to believe, that her best friend was gone. Her best friend was gone. She lay there, holding her, choking back tears as they made their way through Applejack's eyes. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did this to you. I'm sorry, Rainbow. I'm sorry I ever found that journal. I'm sorry I was a coward and betrayed you. I love you, Rainbow Dash." On the top of the bedstand was a photo. In it were all 6 ponies, laughing and smiling. Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Fluttershy, Twilight, Applejack and Rainbow, all together in harmony, only to be quickly washed away by a coward in disguise.